Welcome to Simply Soul Awakenings. I'm Shanna, your host, and we talk about all things metaphysical, spiritual, interdimensional, supernatural, multidimensional. We talk about all kinds of fun stuff here on the podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, well, this is my first video podcast. I've been doing podcasts for a little bit, and anyways, decided to start doing this one. And so anyways, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to simplysouawakenings.com and just listen to the audio. Or if you are on the podcast and just listening to the audio, you can go to YouTube and search for Gypsy Soul Fair. That's what this video will be under. So anyways, just kind of want to let you guys know that I'm adventuring out and doing some different things here. On whichever platform you're listening on. So anyways, today I'm going to be talking about the third dimension, what that is, where our mindset is, how we can shift our perspective out of the 3D. What is the 3D? So let's talk about that a little bit. Some of you may have just started your spiritual journey and you've heard these terms like the 3D. 4D, 5D, what is that? So the 3D is the very first part of our reality. It's also where the lower energies reside at. Lower energies can only reside at pretty much on that 3D. As you begin to shift your perspective, which is basically what it is, and whenever you start to ascend to these other dimensions, then it's shifting your perspective. So anyways, the 3D is when we live in that world of fear, anger, anguish, insecurity, the blame game, gossip, ego, competition, all those kind of lower energies. But once we start to shift our perspective, then our reality shifts and changes, and we realize that we have this connection to everything and everyone, and that everything that we do, say, think, it has a ripple out effect that helps us to manifest what we're bringing into our lives. It also affects other people because we are so well connected. But anyways, whenever you start to realize that that you can shift your perspective, you realize that a lot of these things that are happening and going on are lessons. These are lessons that we came here to learn. These are lessons that, people have brought us lessons. You have people that come into your life and you say they're a lesson or a blessing. There's a reason for that. Yes, some people come into your life as a lesson. What did you need to learn from that interaction with that person? Did you need to learn how to set boundaries with people? Did you need to learn how to navigate difficult relationships or difficult conversations? What was it that you had to learn from that person? Whenever we are in the 3D and we're completely immersed in it, before we start to learn these lessons and shift our perspective, you can really get caught up in it. And it's all kind of a mind game. So, this collective, whenever we're in the collective thought pool, I guess you can kind of say, that's when you get those, fears. So, it can be anything from, why doesn't someone like me? Money. It can be surrounded around money, life, death, loss, any kind of thing, or competition. It could be competition with work. It could be competition, females have a tendency to be, unfortunately, competitive with, oh, she's prettier, or she's skinnier, or, those types of things. Men have a tendency to be more competitive about, oh, well, I'm more muscular, or I'm more, I have a prettier wife. I don't know. I'm really not into the male thought process, but, they get into kind of those ego things, I'm bigger, I'm better, that gets into that ego thing, which is also, that's just part of the 3D reality. And we're trying to shift out of those perspectives and everything. You know, how do we begin to shift that perspective? How do we begin to shift out of that 3D reality? It's to get into the heart space. That's really where we want to create our life, right? Is within our heart. And we start here, and then we move that outwards into the rest of our reality and what we want to manifest and what we want to have in our lives. You know, we want to create not just love for life, but those in it, and what we create around us. We want that to be created in love. And when you begin to work with the heart, then you know who is in alignment with you and who isn't. And, you know, what you truly need in your life, what you truly want in your life. You really have a shift in your perspective whenever you start to go into the heart space and to, you know, shed that 3D perspective and reality where we're all in fear and ego and you know, all of those lower energies, because those things can't reside in the heart space. And God created us in such a way that our hearts are light, you know. So yeah, think of it in that way. You know, when we go into that space, there's no space for all the other junk. But first we got to have, you know, baby steps. How do we get there? What do we do to get into that space? Well, we got to calm the mind. The mind is our nemesis, basically. It's also where ego and fear and all the 3D stuff is up here. So if we can declutter this and calm it, then we can create space so that the heart and the mind work together, right? That's what we really want to do. There are a lot of things that you can do to help calm it. Of course, meditation, we always talk about that. Meditation helps to calm the mind. It helps to declutter it, you know, just kind of get into that Zen space, right? But also going on a walk, getting out in nature helps us to also to calm the mind and to declutter. It helps us to get away from all of our electronics, you know, that have a tendency to clutter us. Keep the phone at home whenever you go on a walk. Or if you have to need to have it on you, or feel like, you know, you need it for security, then that's fine too. But, you know, turn the ringer off, turn off the, you know, everything, the notifications and all that stuff, so that you can actually get out in nature and walk and, you know, be away from all of that. Other things are yoga, Tai Chi. All of these things not only help to calm the mind and declutter, but it's a way of clearing our energy, you know, from head to toe. It's a body, mind, and spirit type of connection that you have whenever you're doing this type of work. So, you know, this helps us to shift that perspective, from the 3D into other dimensions. And whenever we do that, and whenever we shift that, then it helps us to be in connection with our higher self, with our soul self. When we're in connection with our higher self and our soul self, then things begin to look a little clearer. You're able to differentiate between, you know, what is, you know, shift that perspective of what am I learning here? What am I supposed to learn here? What is my lesson? You know, it also shifts our perspective of, could I do this differently? You know, or is this something that I really need to have right now in my life? Is this something that I really need to be doing, or do I need to be doing something different? You know, taking all of that into consideration, it really helps you to shift what's really for you. You know, whenever we start to do that, then it also opens us up to our angels, to our other guides and other dimensions. You know, y'all heard me talk about it on the podcast and talking about, you know, working with your angels, working with the fairies, working with your dragons, working with the star beings. All of these beautiful light beings that we have, that God Creator has set forth to help us all, right? To help us in this place called life. So, you know, once we start to shift our perspective and we get into that heart space and we're able to declutter the mind and connect that heart and the mind together, then it shifts us out of that 3D perspective and more into the 4D and the 5D, you know, and on. So, yeah, helping you to shift all that out. And, you know, whenever you are ready, you can also do a little, my guides were showing me today how to really tune into to that heart space. And they said that simply all you need to do is literally just put your hands on your heart. Take a nice deep breath and just really feel into that heart space. And you'll feel how your mind just automatically calms down. It automatically slows down to a pace that you're able to keep up with. And then whatever comes to mind that you need to do, go with that and listen to that. Whenever you do that, don't second guess the thoughts that come up. Just let them flow. Let them come through. You know, let those feelings come to the surface. It might be things that you need to work through. It might be ideas, you know, for your personal life or your business life or, you know, your spiritual life, whatever it is that you're working on at this time. Maybe you just need to take that calm, centered, stance to be able to figure out what it is where you need to go to. If you're trying to figure out what the lesson is, maybe in something that you're going through right now, do that heart-centered, stop for a moment. Just really calm your mind, and then you might have images, you might have words, you might have just feelings or just a deep sense of knowing what those lessons are, what those, what it is your next steps are. So, just take that time for yourself. Take that time for yourself to do that for you. That'll help you. Whenever we talk about, ascension and switching our reality, these things don't happen overnight. It just doesn't. I know we all want to do it fast, quick. Let's get these lessons over with because they're painful, they're hard, they're hurtful. Let's get that stuff out of the way just as quickly as possible. I want to just be in that pace of peace and tranquility, but it just doesn't happen that way. We continually, while we're living here, I feel like we're in a constant state of learning and healing and, ascension. So, we have these spaces though, where we go, oh, okay, I'm finally in a space where I can breathe. I can be at peace for just a little bit. And you kind of breathe and you enjoy the moment. And then of course, then you get back to life and stuff happens and you need to do the work again, right? So we all have that, and whenever we slip back into those 3D moments, it's not that we're going to stay in the 4D or we're going to stay in the 3D. We kind of go back and forth, right? But you will find that you will be in a space that will be a higher dimension rather than staying in that 3D. People that are staying that 3D, you can tell those that are really immersed in it, because you can see they're literally in the rat race. They're in their minds. They're completely in ego, all of these things. But, when you do, whenever you're able to be in that space of the 4D or higher, then you're able to recognize those energies so much more. And you have a different way of working out any of these lessons and things that come up, or the healing work that needs to be done for yourself. So, and the reasons why we might slip back into the 3D is we might have some unresolved issues with someone. Maybe we thought that we had taken care of, released, let go, done all of the stuff that we needed to do, but for some reason there was still just some little something that needed to be resolved. Or maybe with a trauma. There's all kinds of traumas that people can have gone through. And I feel like some of those types, there are some traumas that we are on a continuous journey of healing. So, I don't know that we ever say it's resolved, right? But that we learn how to integrate whatever lessons came with the trauma, that we learned how to heal our mind, our body, and our spirit in such a way that we learned from it and we're able to move forward in our lives, right? Not move past it, but be able to move forward in our lives in a way that is healthier, mind, body, and spirit. You might even have some past life resolutions to take care of, which could be karmic. So you might slip back into a certain thought process and you go, well, where did that come from? Why am I thinking like that again? What is that? Or why would I even think of that? Because I don't even have to deal with that, right? So whenever those kinds of things come up, then a lot of times it might be a past life, which I feel like we've lived a lot of past lives. So, it could be something like that. You could also have maybe, just those lessons to learn. I just feel like most of it is lessons to learn. And I know I keep repeating myself on this, but I really do. So being able to step back into your heart space and see how to move forward and what you need to learn from it is a huge, huge part. But ultimately, life is a journey, and we're going to have our ups, we're going to have our downs, we're going to have our spaces where we're going to have, to do some deep healing. Sometimes it's just surface healing. Sometimes it's just, just shifting that perspective so that we understand maybe somebody else's point of view or where they're coming from. Sometimes I feel like we have those types of lessons that come in that help us to understand what other people are thinking or going through. So, anyways, I know I kind of hopped around on all of this today. But anyways, I hope it kind of helped you to kind of understand how you can you can go in there and start really working on the mind, the body, the spirit. Going into that heart space is huge, huge, huge for you to do. So make sure and do that. Do your meditation, get out in nature, do yoga, any kind of exercise and moving. I'm telling you, it's once you realize that it's all connected, there's a reason why, we have so many events and things that are called body, mind, and spirit. It's because it all works together. If we can get these energies into alignment, then it helps us to be in alignment with what we're supposed to be doing in our life, in this lifetime. So anyways, I hope that helped you guys out a little bit. And please excuse me if I stuttered or whatever. I'm going to try to do some editing on all of this. I can do it on the audio. I'm just going to learn how to do the video editing. Maybe. Let's see if I'm able to do that. Anyways, so I did want to let you guys that I know that I'm working on the 2024 schedule for the women's retreats. We just came off of the one that was in Broken Bow. It was awesome. I'm keeping the retreats really small. So, I just feel like everyone gets a lot more out of it if I keep them small. So they get more time with me. I got some feedback from the ladies that were at the Broken Bow retreat, and so I believe I am going to start doing it more of an extended weekend, for like a Friday through Monday instead for Broken Bow. So that gives us a little bit more time with one another, because my guides bring in a lot of stuff to go and work with you guys whenever I do these retreats. So, and they're lots of fun. So, talk to some of the people that have been to them and see if it's for you. So we're going to be doing that, but I have another one that I'm going to be working on, and I'm trying to get everything solidified for the dates and where we'll be at and everything. I'm really excited about it, so hopefully I'll have that done here pretty quick. And if you want to check out any of the retreats, you can go to gypsysoulfair.com, and that will have the women's retreats. It'll also have all the fair dates, so if you're interested in being a vendor and would like to be a vendor at any of the fairs in Oklahoma or Arkansas. Right now, I don't have any in Texas. I'm thinking about, expanding and doing a different space in Texas. I haven't quite decided on that yet. I have a new space that I'm looking at for Arkansas as well. So I'm in a constant state of renewal and trying to figure out exactly what my 2024 schedule is going to be. So they have me working on a lot of things. When I say they, I'm talking about Spirit. So anyways, continue to, check out the websites for continuous updates for everything. But if you're someone that, you're venturing out and would like to start doing readings, so if there's a vendor application, or if you have artwork, and it doesn't necessarily have to be on the spiritual side of stuff, it could be just really beautiful, creative work that you have. So, put in a vendor application, and anyways, we'll go from there. And let's see here. Oh, also, I'm on Buy Me a Coffee. So if you're enjoying the podcast, which I hope you are, buy me a coffee. That helps to support me and all that I'm doing for this for the podcast and everything. And so anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed today. And if you have just found this podcast, make sure and check out past podcasts that are all up on my simplysouawakenings.com, where you can also buy me a coffee. So anyways, I look forward to talking to you all again, and I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed week. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.